Hello everyone, with the Jamaica here. Welcome to this updated video on the weather across Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. It is Sunday evening, August 18, 2024. Now before we jump into it, please ensure that you guys like the video. I'd really appreciate it if you guys get this video up to 100 likes. If you don't know by now, that's how the YouTube algorithm works. We all like the video and then the YouTube algorithm pushes the video out to more persons during the path of these tropical systems so we can keep everyone safe, especially during the peak of Atlantic hurricane season, that's August through to October. Share this video with your friends, your co-workers, your relatives, and even your church brethren, and subscribe if you haven't yet done so. Leave a comment down below letting me know what this has been like in your ear recently. Also, feel free to ask any other related question that you might have about the future of the weather in your specific area. Alright, so let us take a look at the U.S. National Hurricane Center 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook. We can see that they have nothing highlighted as of their latest update that was just posted at 7:46 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, which is actually 6:46 p.m. at Jamaica time, so about 15 minutes ago. All they have highlighted is Hurricane Ernesto, which has re-strengthened back to a hurricane this morning. It downgraded back to a tropical storm. We can see it right there to the north of Bermuda. As of right now, it's still spinning away, still has a lot of clouds, showers and thunderstorms spinning and swirling around the eye right there, as all hurricanes do the counterclockwise flow. Lots of strong winds and heavy rainfall within that, so if there are any boats or ships out at sea, they're definitely getting in on that bad weather. If we take a look at the latest from the Hurricane Center, we can see that it is still packing maximum sustained winds of 75 miles per hour, and it is still moving towards the north-northeast at 17 miles per hour. So it's still a category 1 hurricane, and it's expected to pass just to the east of Canada and then downgrade back to a tropical storm around Tuesday into Wednesday. If we take a look at the surface map of the Atlantic for this evening, we can see that we have a tropical wave right here to the east of Jamaica, another tropical wave right here across the eastern Caribbean, a tropical wave right here equidistant from Africa and the Caribbean, and we can see a trough as represented by these broken orange lines right here to the north of that tropical wave, Ernesto right here to the north, ridge of high pressure right here to the east of Ernesto, that's responsible for sending all of the easterly trade winds across the main development region into the Caribbean. And with these easterly trade winds come these tropical waves from Africa, not to mention the Saharan dust from the Sahara Desert. If we take a look at the visible satellite images of the Atlantic before the sun went down, we can see the clouds swirling away associated with Ernesto right there at the top. We can actually make out the clouds associated with the tropical wave right here, especially to the east of Jamaica. Not much massive cloud cover or anything like that, just a weak tropical wave. You can also make out the clouds associated with the tropical wave right here across the eastern Caribbean. And as it relates to the other tropical wave that's right here equidistant from Africa and the main development region, we can see that majority of the activity is squashed to the south in the intertropical convergent zone. We'll be talking more about the rest of the Caribbean's weather later on. Let us focus our attention on the prediction that was made in yesterday's video about the weather across Jamaica for today, Sunday, August 18, 2024. It was stated that parts of eastern, central, and western Jamaica would have received some rainfall on a Sunday afternoon, with more of the focus across southern parishes in Jamaica, as a matter of fact. So let's load up all of those images right here. So we have it right here. So eastern parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Surrey. So Portland, St. Thomas, Kingston, St. Andrew. Central parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Middlesex. So St. Anne, St. Mary, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine. While western parishes, we're talking about those parishes in the county of Cornwall. So St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, and Trelawney. And we know southern parishes, we're talking about those parishes on the bottom side of the island. So Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, Manchester, Clarendon, St. Catherine, Kingston, St. Andrew, and St. Thomas. And what ended up happening? As early as 1:55 p.m., The visible satellite image was posted here on our Twitter page at Weather Jamaica. Keep in mind that these posts aren't only made here on our Twitter page, but on our Instagram page at Weather.Jamaica, on our TikTok page at Weather Jamaica, and on our Facebook page at Weather Jamaica 876. So if you have one of those social media platforms, please ensure that you follow us there, as we may post throughout the day that you can't afford to miss. So we saw the visible satellite image, and it highlighted that we were indeed getting clouds across where eastern, central, and western parishes in Jamaica, with more of the focus across southern parishes. So we see the whites that represent the cloud cover, and we also see the sparkling yellow dots that we know represent some amount of lightning flashes, if not lightning strikes, especially across portions of Clarendon and St. Catherine at that time. Well, more so Western St. Catherine. Not looking at you guys in Portmore at all. You guys got more in the way of overcast skies than anything else. And we can also see that there was some amount of clouds associated with the tropical wave at that time to the east of the island, but by the time the clouds got to eastern Jamaica, they died down in terms of the shower activity that they had. And then another post was made here on our Twitter page highlighting the infrared satellite images. We definitely saw those high cold cloud tops being blown off towards the southwest, just as predicted in yesterday's video, because of the upper level wind shear from the northeast. And we saw those high cold cloud tops as represented by those blues, greens, yellows, oranges, reds, and blacks. Not to mention the sparkling white dots that represent some amount of lightning strikes, if not lightning flashes. And even at the end of this image, we saw that we were still getting some thunderstorm activity across sections of southern Trelawney, and we were even getting some isolated showers right there, especially across the waters to the east of the island. If we take a look at the latest visible satellite images of Jamaica before the sun went down, we can see what took place. We definitely had those clouds pushing in from the more so from the east northeast in a sense, and then we had the clouds building, especially across sections of some central, western, and southern parishes in Jamaica. And we can see that by the time the sun was about to go down, majority of the activity has definitely dwindled down. And we definitely have some of our commenters, some of our followers on our Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and even our TikTok page confirming the weather for today. We had Alison Secree stating currently drizzling in Sav, TMCT stating raining, lovely rain, Daniel stating heavy rain here in Kingston 20, loving it. Even on our Facebook page we had Huggins A. Latoya stating rainy hard in Old Harbor, St. Catherine. Even on our Instagram page we had the comments coming in. Kai or Kim Sue, rain and thunder in Mandeville. Semret _ Selassie, rain Kingston 6, but it stopped. And right here, Andrew Fisher 40 stating the weather is nice and fine, lots of rain, looking forward to lots more. It's X _ Leah, rain in St. Elizabeth. So you notice the trend, majority of southern Jamaica got in on the rainfall today, not so much across St. Thomas at all today. We even have Pretty Eyes right here on our TikTok page. We actually had some comments coming in today. So just as stated earlier, still awaiting Portmore, feel little light. So more than likely they got on the overcast skies, that they don't call it the Sunshine City just for anything. Joan Brown happening now, heavy rain, thunder. Katie and Martin, we got some good rain in St. Catherine Central Village, loving it, place did hot. But and just as stated, St. Thomas didn't get in on much of anything at all. As Sean right here stating hot in St. Thomas. And if we take a look at the Crossroads cam from See Jamaica's YouTube channel, if you don't know by now, we have a partnership with this channel. They show live streams of the corporate area, the city view, the Kingston Harbor, Bagua Gorge, Halfway Tree, Crossroads, and the newly installed Barbican cam. So they show live streams of the corporate area that you can't afford to miss at all. And at even around 6:11 p.m. so even in the early evening hours, we're still getting in on some moderate to heavy rainfall, lashing the corporate area. Portions of Crossroad getting in on the wet weather, even Halfway Tree as well. definitely got in on that weather. So some of this afternoon rainfall definitely lingered into the early evening hours. And the accumulated precipitation for the past 24 hours from the Caribbean Institute for Meteorology and Hydrology website confirms this rainfall. So a majority of central and western Jamaica, not so much northern Jamaica, so don't look at the north and say, oh, how is it that northern portions are painted but we didn't get rainfall? We know these maps aren't 100% accurate, but they do paint a picture of where we actually had majority of the rainfall today. And if we take a look at the latest infrared satellite image, let's reload this so that we have the very latest. So we can see right here the very latest images as of 23:55 UTC, which is actually 6:55 p.m. Jamaica time. And we don't see much of anything. Majority of the clouds have definitely cleared out. We still have some thunderstorms right there to the southwest of the island. Some clouds stretched out to the east of the island associated with the tropical wave. And we can see the upper level wind shear definitely shearing the high cold cloud tops off towards the south and west, just as stated in yesterday's video. And if we match what we just saw on the infrared satellite image to what we're seeing now on the latest Cuban Doppler radar image, and keep in mind that this image, or the latest image, is just coming out as of, it should say, about 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, if I'm not mistaken, if not 8:10 p.m. Okay, there we have it. So 8:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In Cuba is actually 7:10 p.m. Jamaica time. And we see that we do have some isolated shores as represented by the greens and the yellows right there off towards the south and the east of the island associated with that tropical wave. Let's hope that some of this actually makes it onshore into portions of St. Thomas, where one of the followers was saying that it's very hot. We can also see that shower activity that we saw on the latest infrared satellite image right here to the southwest of Westmoreland. So it all matches out with what we're seeing on the Doppler radar images. You know, Doppler radar images show the actual rainfall as represented by the greens, yellows, as we can see on the Cuban Doppler radar images. We know that we can have cloud cover over an area, not necessarily rainfall, which is why Doppler radar images are so important. So hopefully they fix the Jamaican Doppler radar very soon. Even if we take a look at the Guantanamo Bay Cuban military radar, we can see the rainfall right there being experienced across portions of western Haiti, the western tip of Haiti right there. We see the greens, the yellows, the oranges that represent amount of moderate to heavy rainfall. And we do see the isolated shores between Haiti and Jamaica at this time. If we take a look at the latest halfway through camp, we can see that majority of the bad weather has now gone. The ground is still wet, but I'm sure that it's gonna be quite a cool night as compared to last night. Not sure if it was that cool last night, but it's definitely gonna be cool tonight considering the rainfall was so closer to the evening hours. So it's gonna take a while for all of this to evaporate. So it's definitely gonna be making way for a cooler night. But with all of the clouds definitely clearing out, as we can see by the latest infrared satellite image, we should be seeing the stars out tonight. If we take a look at the temperatures right now, we can see that we have 27 degrees Celsius in Kingston and 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. And by around 4 a.m. on Monday, temperature should dip down to about 25 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay, 26 degrees Celsius in Kingston. Taking a look at the temperature forecast for tomorrow, this map from the GFS is showing 18Z on Monday, which is actually 1 p.m. on Monday. And we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some slight yellow colors, some slight gold colors as well. That represents all the way up to 1 degree Celsius above normal temperatures for the month of August. Now, one of the normal temperatures for the month of August are about the same as July, almost 91 degrees Fahrenheit. When we take a look at the thermometer or when calculations are made, 91 degrees Fahrenheit is almost the same as 32.7 degrees Celsius. So we should be receiving anywhere from 32 to 33 degrees Celsius at most for Jamaica's temperature on Monday. So please ensure that you stay out of the sun during peak hours and you all stay hydrated as much as possible. More water than drinks, more fruits and vegetables, little to no coffee at all. If we take a look here at the Saharan dust forecast for 2 p.m. on Monday, we can see Jamaica right here embedded in some of the brown colors that we know represent the Saharan dust, and it is all trailing from east to west across the main development region into the Caribbean, as we can see there. We can also see that we have some darker shades of browns, especially across the eastern Caribbean, and we know all of this is pushing from east to west. So it's going to be getting to Jamaica soon, even though Jamaica is getting on those lighter shades of browns. It can still cause some hazy skies, not to mention trigger some amount of asthma or sinusitis issues in some persons. So please ensure that you have your meds handy. If we take a look at the wave forecast for tomorrow, we can see that both the Euro and the GFS are in consensus that the Gulf of Mexico, the Western Caribbean, should be getting on those lighter shades of blues that represents up to 0.5 meter wave height, while we have more darker blues across the central to the Eastern Caribbean that represents 1 to 1.5 meter wave height. And that's because the winds are going to be weakest across the Gulf of Mexico and the Western Caribbean, averaging anywhere from 0 to about 10 knots at most, while across the Caribbean, we see that it should be averaging anywhere from 15 to 20 knots, coming in from the east for the most part, with the strongest winds right there to the north of Colombia, where we see these yellows that represent up to 25 knot winds. As it relates to the close-up of Jamaica in terms of the wind forecast, we see that the winds are definitely going to be coming in more so from the east, southeast tomorrow. Let's see, it's more so from the east, but it's curving kind of northward in a sense. So we know that the air is going to be piling up across northern and western parishes in Jamaica. We see the winds coming in from the east and curving on the north coast. But either way, we know what's going to be happening. All of the air is going to be piling up. You're going to be having that daytime heating, that diurnal convection. So those cumulus clouds might become mid-level rain clouds, if not upper-level cumulonimbus clouds. So look out for that rainfall if you're in northern and western Jamaica. And we're talking about areas such as St. Mary, St. Anne, Trelawney, St. James, Hanover, and some western portions of the island. So definitely Westmoreland in the mix. We already said these areas on top. Maybe even northern St. Elizabeth getting in on some of the action as well. And if we take a look at the actual rainfall forecast maps from the Euro and the GFS, as a matter of fact, before we look at that, we're still going to be getting in on those high cold cloud tops being blown out towards the southwest, as this map showing the upper level wind shear is still going to be coming in from the northeast as of 1 p.m. on Monday. That's exactly what we saw happen today. So what's expected is that although the low level flow is for the winds to be piling up from the east southeast, especially across northern and western Jamaica, yes, the thunderstorms will affect portions of northern and western Jamaica, but the high cold cloud tops associated with these thunderstorms are going to be blown off towards the southwest, just like we see happening right here. So it might bring more in the way of overcast skies, especially across maybe sections of Manchester, section of St. Elizabeth too. So the rainfall forecast right here is valid for 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is actually 3 p.m. Jamaica time. And we see the blues that represent rainfall across the north and western portion of the island. So definitely northern St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, Hanover, St. James, Trelawney, St. Anne, sections of St. Mary getting in on the mix, maybe western Portland, maybe northern St. Andrew. So look out for that rainfall at that time. Not so much across St. Catherine, Clarendon, Manchester, St. Thomas, or eastern and central Portland. But look at what the Euro is showing. The Euro is showing some blues across the south and the central portion of the island. But we're more inclined to believe what the GFS is showing. We'll see which one of them wins. But we know the Euro can beat. GFS has been winning a lot recently, especially with the afternoon rainfall. So we're just going to be working with the consensus. Northern and western parishes in Jamaica for sure. And we're indeed grateful for the rainfall that we're going to be experiencing. We're in the month of August. We usually get an increase in the amount of rainfall that we normally get for the year compared to what we get in July. We see Kingston's bar graph right here at the top, and we usually receive almost 100 millimeters. That's almost 4 inches of rainfall during this month for Kingston. Montego Bay's bar graph right here at the bottom, we usually receive almost 5 inches of rainfall during the month of August for Montego Bay. That's almost 125 millimeters of rainfall. And you can visit weatherandclimate.com to find out about the rainfall in your specific parish throughout the year. And you can use this map right here. Let me load it up. This map right here that shows the rainfall calculations from inches to millimeters. We know 1 inch of rainfall is about the same as 25 millimeters of rainfall. So you do the math yourself. Alright, so that is it for the forecast across Jamaica. Let us focus our attention on the rest of the Caribbean. So as stated, we have clouds associated with a tropical wave doing a number on especially Hispaniola as we speak. Clouds associated with a tropical wave right there to the east of Jamaica. Hopefully we can get on some of that tonight. We see clouds associated with the tropical wave, especially across the intertropical convergence zone. Right there, equidistant from Africa and the Caribbean. Another tropical wave, but it's not so wet across the eastern Caribbean. Northern South America with their usual afternoon thunderstorms, so too Central and Central America, portion of Cuba as well. And if we take a look at the Doppler radar images of the northeastern Caribbean, we're going to be seeing that they did indeed getting on some isolated showers today if we load these images from earlier. So portion of the Dominican Republic associated with that tropical wave. You can also see some hit or miss isolated showers passing through the Leeward Islands. So Antigua and Barbuda, section of Guadeloupe, section of northwestern Puerto Rico got in on some isolated shower as well. And if we take a look at the Barbados radar, we can see the rain coming in from the east. Barbados definitely getting on some isolated showers as we speak, with more to come. So too sections of Martinique, St. Lucia, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, as well as sections of Tobago, maybe even spilling into Trinidad later on. If we take a look at the weather view of Doppler radar images, we can see that rainfall currently being experienced across the Dominican Republic and Haiti border, section of Belize, northern Guatemala. We can also see some rainfall right there out to sea to the south and the east of Florida. And we don't see much of anything else elsewhere. But as relates to what's expected within the next 24 hours, we can see that there's definitely some amount of rainfall in store for sections of Florida, sections of the Bahamas, Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, Puerto Rico, anywhere from St. Vincent south, where it's a St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada. We also see the consensus for rainfall across sections of southern and western Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Costa Rica, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, section of Belize, the Yucatan Peninsula. And we also see more rainfall in store for Cuba. I know that when both maps from the Euro and the GFS are in consensus like this, the chances of actually happening are much higher. Alright, so that's it for today. Thanks for watching.